What makes a leader innovative? There is no one correct leadership style to becoming an innovative leader, but there is a drive within you. With the declining education system in our country and the failing of local administrations, Geoffrey Canada, the president of Harlem's Children's Zone, has taken on an innovative leadership role of changing urban education in Harlem, with his three main skills of being empathetic, a strategist, and using 5 of the civic areas of power to his advantage. I can relate to Canada's frustration with the education system that has not changed its overall design in nearly 50 years. My son struggles in school and I do everything I can to help him, but I feel the teachers in the system fail him. Even after reaching out to the teachers and superintendent numerous times, I hear the positive actions that they are going to take for his education to better it, the new curriculum they're going to do, the tutoring they're going to use, and I never see any of these actions that back up these words. In being an innovative leader, Canada is empathetic to the needs and feelings of others. He has had a few crucibles in his life that have helped shape him and create a passion for being the leader that he is and want to change the education in his hometown of Harlem. At a young age, his mother and father divorced due to his father's alcoholism. His mother was left to raise him and his 3 brothers alone in poverty in Harlem. Since that point in his life, his father had no part in their lives. At the age of 15, he had the opportunity to move in to the suburbs with his grandparents, and from there he received a good education at a different school. He also received a scholarship to go on to college. He finished with a master's in education. After that point, he moved back to Harlem because he had the idea that he was going to revamp the whole education system of the nation within a few years. At every turn, he was met with the Teachers Association and found out they wanted no change. They wanted no part of bettering the education system. They wanted to stick to what they had, what was in their union contract, and there was no leeway on anything. They didn't want to change at all. So he became the president of Redland Institute, where he had been teaching at in Harlem in the 1990s. He changed the name to the Harlem's Children's Zone, which was a private charter school, so they had to do a lottery to become a student. You have to hope that your number is drawn out of the lottery they do once a year, and if you are lucky enough, then you can attend the school from kindergarten through 12th grade. Then there is the strategic side of Canada. He is an individual who sees a problem and finds a way to create a solution. Canada does not let his failures stop him. He learns from his mistakes and he looks for other new possible solutions. This is the case with the current education system and the school days they have now. Canada thought that having school on Saturdays would help the students at Harlem's Children's Zone and many of the parents too that have to work on Saturdays. Now the students go to school 6 days a week and have Sunday off, which is the case in many other countries. They attend school 6 to 7 days a week. Canada also thought that adding an extra hour of school per day only made sense because we currently are sending kids to school from regularly 8 to 3, which is a 7-hour school day. He has changed the school days at his school from 8 to 4 by adding Saturdays to the school and the extra 6 hours through the week. This has increased the learning time for the students at the school by 13 hours a week. The school year there is also ran with holidays off and only 3 weeks off in the summer, which is typical for other countries' schools that are by far exceeding the education system in America. We are declining over and over, and Canada is frustrated with it, along with many other people like myself. So having the students go through the summer only made sense, and Canada he relates to this in saying that they had the summers off originally to begin with for farming, which in most sense makes no sense, because when you're farming, you're planting in the spring and then you're harvesting in the fall. So in the summer, it makes no sense for the students to be off. So he has them only have a 3-week break. This has helped improve Harlem's Children's Zone's scores. They by far exceed the national expectations of every subject, and they also do their testing in the beginning of the year instead of the end of the year, which is America's way of testing They test at the end of the year, and the teachers don't receive the grades or the results back until sometime in the summer, which is after the fact of the students being out of school in our education system, since we do not attend in the summer. And by that point, by the time they come back in the fall, most students are on to another grade level, and a majority of the time they don't have the same teachers, so they are not being helped with the subjects that they are falling behind in. So for Canada, he's found the solution of testing at the beginning of the school year, and within 2 to 3 weeks, his teachers have the results and they can help the students that are actually in their class. They tutor them and they have time after school, and they help them extra in class to help them be up to their grade level, if not better from where they are. So they know each individual student and what they need to help them. Canada also uses 5 of the 6 civic areas as power. First, he has the ideas, which we have already spoken in before, and he has many, many more of them. And he also reevaluates his ideas every year. He doesn't keep his school system the same year after year just because it works. He looks for new opportunities, new technology. He looks at data. They have records. Data is his huge thing that he goes off of, and seeing what is helping his students and what isn't, and what needs to change every single year. 2, he has the numbers. He has the community, the parents support, the student support. He's even gotten governmental support, which goes along with the social norms, because now in the 97 square block area, the social norm is the Harlem Children's School Zone for the students that live there. It's normal for them to go to school from 8 to 4. It's normal for them going to school 6 days a week. And the state and the government action is number 4 that he has in the civic area, and he has support from the local government. The president has even gave grants to replicate the Harlem's Children's Zone in other cities across the nation to hopefully help with the education system, help in these situations where generation after generation, families are just falling behind. They see their parents going down the wrong road, and then students are going down the wrong road, and it just continuously happens in a cycle down through these families over and over and over, and there's no change. And he also gives leadership classes on his school design for anyone that's interested for a small fee. He's had people from other countries come here to study, to see what he does with his students, how his teachers are with his students, and what is different about this school system that is working. With them being a charter school, the teachers are not part of the union. They don't have 10 years. They don't have something to keep them there. If they are not doing their job, they are not helping the students learn, they are a teacher that just goes there and sits, they are let go. They are fired immediately. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that is one positive, that he does not have to hold on to somebody, and these teachers do not feel like this job is theirs no matter what. They know they have to work to keep their job. They know that seeing the students succeed is part of their job. And these teachers, in the situations that I've seen through this school, in researching it, that's what they want. And I wish that's what I would see from every teacher in this nation. There are many teachers that are amazing, but there are many teachers that rely on the union to just back them up. And the last and final civic area he uses is wealth. Through it being a charter school, Canada has to find ways to fund the school. He has to go out in the community. He has to go outside of the community, outside of the state, to get people to support his education plan, his school, support these students. And he compares the price of how much it costs to house an individual in jail to how much it costs per year to see these students succeed. And it is at least half of the price to see these students succeed in the school systems than to house someone in jail for a year, which would only make sense to put more money into our school systems to make leaders. And this is his main goal, is to make leaders, to make a change. Many of his ideas actually come from the leadership game that we had in one of our topics throughout this class. They have the impact in the community, in the school. It touches everybody. It changes everybody. 2, they have Canada implements countless improvements, which I've spoken of, that he reevaluates the system every year. He gets rid of teachers that aren't working. The school is a mentorship to the students, also to the community through classes. They offer parenting classes, cooking programs, after-school activities, tutoring, all the way through college. So it's from birth to college for anyone in the community that needs help, even if they are not one of the lucky people that have been drawn from the lottery to attend the school. These people still benefit from the school and the programs they offer. They empower the students because they hold the teachers accountable, and they know it's their job to teach these students, to see them succeed. But the students are empowered because they realize they have the power and the opportunity to change their future. And most of the students, if not all of the students, feel empowered because they look up to Canada knowing he was one of them. He came from their area. He came from poverty. He came from the single household. And he has went on, and he is a leader. He is a leader to this whole community, let alone just a leader in the school to these students. And they see what a great man he is. They see where he's went, his education. They see that he has changed the whole community, just him. And many want to be like him. Harlem's Children's School Zone gives recognition to the students too by rewarding them for their good grades and their attendance by such things as a vacation to Disneyland with their peers, which is paid for by the school through its outside funding. And many of these students don't even get to go on a camping trip because they live in poverty. So this is a big motivator that I have seen in all of the research. They also are taught self-respect. And you see it out of all the kids that are interviewed in all the videos that I've watched. These kids are very respectful. They're very intelligent the way they talk. And they talk to kids at one point, and then a couple years later they go back and re-interview them after they have been at the school, and you can just hear the difference in the words they say, the way they speak, how confident they are, what their goals are from 2 years ago when you listened. They have self-respect. They want to be the best them. They don't want to do anything wrong. They want to make Canada, they want to make their teachers happy. They want to make their family happy, and they're proud of who they are and what they're doing, which helps motivate them to have good grades, to be at school. It helps drive them. I'm going to leave you with this one thought. With the declining education system in our country and the failing of local administrations, Geoffrey Canada was one man that created a ripple and has touched over 12,000 lives. That we know of, 12,000. Now, what are you going to do to create a ripple in the education system? And how many people will your ripple affect? Thank you.